Boker Tov, everyone. Good morning. Chanukah Sameach, the last day of Chanukah, which we read today. Zot Chanuka, last day, and it's the full menorah. Right? Remember, in the Bet HaMikdash, they lit the full menorah every single day. The oil lasted for 8 days in full menorah. We do 8 days, day 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., to remember the 8 days. But the full menorah, that's the greatest day, the climax, the pinnacle. That's what's called Zot Chanuka. The rabbis write that on this day, whatever you didn't accomplish on Chanukah, you can make up for on this day through tefillah, through asking Hashem on Yom Kippur. You want to say? I don't know, but Zot Chanukah is a very high and important day. Okay, so what do we do with the leftover oil and wicks, etc.? So the wicks that were collected throughout. Maybe I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but the wicks that were collected throughout the week, throughout Chanukah, you should have collected those wicks, not throw them out. And at the end, to burn those wicks, either at the end of Chanukah or save them for when you burn them with the menorah. If, let's say, there was leftover oil, so there could be 3 types of leftover oil. Leftover oil, let's say, in your bottle that you bought. You bought this big, 2-liter oil for Chanukah. You only used half of it. Whatever's left over is totally fine for your own personal use afterwards. No worries whatsoever. Personal use, do whatever you want with it. Salad dressings, light candles with it, do whatever you want. Now let's say you have little left oil in the cups from the past days. So let's say after every day you washed your menorah cups. Let's just say you did that. That's okay, because when you lit, it already lasted for more than half an hour. You had a little bit of remnants of oil there. That's already kind of leftovers, so that you could even wash away. So too on the last day. Let's say you didn't wash it every day, but on the last day you had a little bit of remnants, but your menorah already lasted over half an hour. Those remnants you could wash away technically. But let's say last night you lit the menorah, and we already mentioned this halacha, hadlaka osam mitzvah. The moment you light, it does the mitzvah. Now let's say your grandchild came and blew out the candles. You thought it was his birthday, right? So we learned the halacha that technically you don't need to relight it. You don't need to relight it technically. And let's say you happen to be going out anyways, you were going to leave the menorah on, you weren't so comfortable with it because it's fire in the house, but you have to do it because it's within half an hour, and your grandkid blew out the candles anyways. You say, you know what? Technically, the halacha is I don't need to relight it, so I'm not going to let it go. So now what you have there, now comes the next morning, it's the day after, it's the last day of Chanukah right now. You have in there a full cup of oil, let's say, that you designated for menorah, which did not last a half an hour. That oil is still kind of holy, that you were supposed to use for your menorah, and that you cannot discard, that you have to burn. Again, maybe keep it all the way till Pesach, or what you could do is you could collect all that oil, put it into a vase and into a cup, and light a candle in it, Luni Shmat someone, whatever it is, to use that oil out, to burn it out. That's what you could do. You got oil left? Okay. That's it. Only water left. So yeah, if you want, what you could do is, if you didn't wash it daily, what you could do is you could pour all what's left into one little cup and light a wick in it to kind of get rid of all that oil that you kind of designated for Chanukah. You could do it that way. Last thing is, there's an interesting Segula that a lot of people have been doing lately, that they found in one of the old Sfarim, that says that today's the last day of Chanukah. Zot Chanuka is a very holy day. So to take, kind of like the kotel, take a paper and pen and write to Hashem, talk to Hashem and say, Hashem, thank you for everything, etc. And God willing, this coming year, from Chanukah to Chanukah, I would really like if I would get a new job, or if I'd get, I'd have a child, or my daughter will get married, this and that. You ask Hashem for different things. You fold it up, put it under your menorah, and the next year, open it up and ask Hashem, see what happens. There's a famous story that happened last year or 2 years ago, where a person was asking for children, and he asked Hashem for twins. He said, I have no children, and it's been a few years already. Hashem, please give us twins. And the next year, he had twins beside his menorah, and so it's a Segula. So Bezrat Hashem should answer all of our tefillot, end the war in Israel, get rid of all of our enemies, and bring us Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mira v'yabenu amen. I want to wish a happy birthday to our dear Parnas Max Arobas for 120 years of health and happiness, and Bezrat Hashem, 120 years to work for the shul. Bezrat Hashem, health and happiness and all the brachot. Bezrat Hashem. To work for free for the shul. Mincha at 4:15. I'm sorry I have to run, so we'll make up the shiur next week. Mincha at 4:15. Have a good day, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. Tandir Eliyahu.